Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Masters of the Universe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia Tri-Klops. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have on the top 30 points of articulation, 6 and up Mattel Masterverse on the top flap with that nice exploding rock that takes you right back to the 80s and that original Master of the Universe packaging. And then here we have a much smaller window than what we're used to in this line. So I guess that's going to be the new thing to get used to. But we do have lots more of this nice artwork to look at, and there's Tri-Klops, and there's some dudes behind Tri-Klops. I don't know who they are. Masters of the Universe New Eternia Tri-Klops. And then the artwork does wrap around to the side, and you see New Eternia Skeletor and Beastman back there, along with some other of these dudes. And, you know, they're in a portal back there. Then on this side, we've got some nice just solo shots of Tri-Klops being Klopsy, I guess. Then on the back, I don't know if this is practical photography or a render, but I'm going to go with practical photography, and I have to say it does look very nice. And then I think these are practical as well. That's the way I'm going with it, and just showing, you know, some of the features of the figure. Then we've got some nice artwork here of Tri-Klops. Tri-Klops, evil and sees everything. The Technomancer's latest mechanical masterpiece worked perfectly. Dubbed the Multivisor, Tri-Klops gazed into the paradimension and discovered a new Eternia where the power of Grayskull was up for grabs. What? Also available, each sold separately, subject to availability. Colors and decorations may vary, and it's the cross sale of Revolution Battle Armor He-Man, New Eternia Mechanic, this figure, New Eternia Tri-Klops, and Revolution King Keldor. Mattel empowering the next generation through play. And did I cover the bottom? Well, if I didn't, there it is. Small print, fine print, legally print, main event, non-prints, MattelShop.com, and a barcode, assortment, numbers, symbols I'm not going to learn. All that good stuff. You know, if you like that kind of thing. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, handy dandy tweezers, and we'll start with the accessories. And here is an additional eyepiece. Same types of eyes, I think. Maybe the colors are a little different. But regardless, you can replace the one that's on the figure with this one, and it's got nice molded details. It's got some nice paint apps in it, and it looks really cool. And you can see in here, you see these, those are stops for when you're spinning the eyes, and I'll show that when we swap stuff out. Alright, the next thing is his bandolier. And of course it's molded in white plastic, and then it's got these 3 paint apps on it. And this harkens back to mini comic days, at least that's what I remember it being. And then you can see it's got straps for the extra sword to go. And you can see I've had it in there because there's some paint rubbing going on, so be aware of that. If you get this figure, there's going to be some paint rubbing on those swords. So there's that. We'll show how that works in a minute as well. Next up, He does come with a set of fists, nothing new here. In and out hinge, nice molded details, molded in the proper color, or the proper colored plastic. Same thing with this one. Again, nothing new. We've seen these fists plenty of times. Next up, we have one of the swords. And you can see here where the paint has scraped. And it's all painted except for this part of the handle here. I think it's all molded in this color, and then everything else is a paint app. And it's very nice looking. Except where it's scraped. And same holds true for this one. And there goes Tri-Klops falling over because I bumped him. And you can see it's got some paint scraping going on here where I've had it in the strap on the back of his armor there, but it's molded, looks to be molded in this colored plastic, and then paint apps added for everything else, which is most of the sword. And I would just say, before the paint scraping, it looks really, really nice. And same holds true for the other one. Nice molded details on both of them. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And you know, he does have that spinny gimmick, although it does hold into place, and you may can hear it click on the mic. You may not hear it, but they do hold in place. And that one just don't want to turn at all. So there we go. We'll turn it this way then. So it does tab into place, or snaps into place. And I like that because I hate when they just, it won't stay in position. I really don't like that. Nice face sculpt. And the hair as well. And even the top of the head or hat or whatever you want to call it there. It looks like the armor is molded in this color, but it's got little flecks of glitter in it as well. So they added some glitter to the plastic. It looks like this appears to be a paint app. That's probably molded in color. This, most everything else seems to be molded in color except for like the eyepieces and the face. As you can see, the skin tone here for the face and the rest don't quite match up. And then we've got a little bit of paint app here on the boots and the feet for the straps. And then lots of nice detailing going on back here on the armor as well. And there's the strap for the sword that harkens back to that classic original figure. And then there's a paint app right here. So overall, a very, very nice looking Tri-Klops. A very nice update to the classic look. Just classic enough, like most of the new Eternia stuff. Just classic enough and just new enough. And it blends, I think, perfectly. Now, as far as his articulation goes, he can look up that high. The hair kind of messes with the range of motion there. And it's on a dumbbell in there. Dumbbell, one bell in the neck and one in the head. Or ball, not bell. So anyway, he looks down that far. He's got some chicken neck. He's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist. 360 degree rotation at the shoulder. And he can raise his arm up 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep for a full 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow. It gives you that much bend. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on in and out hinge. And in and out hinge on the other side as well. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the extra hands are in and out hinges also. Cut here where the chest and the abdomen meet. So he's got hula. He can lean left and right. He can lean back that far. He can lean forward that far. And he does have some rotation there. And like most Masterverse figures, it will do a full 360 degree at this cut, but it doesn't like to. So I'm going to quit forcing the issue. Straight cut here at the waist gives you full 360 degree rotation. He does have pull down hinge at the hips, and he can give you the full splits with that engaged. He can kick forward 90 degrees. He can kick back like maybe 4 steps. So those pull down hinges are nice until they mess up, I'm sure. Cut here at the upper thigh for a full 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless knee gives you that much bend. And at the top of the shin, there's a boot cut for another 360 degrees of rotation. At the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, pop the head off. Then you can put his bandolier on. You may have to put his arm up. Is that right? No, that's backwards. It goes this way. There. Yes, that seems to fit a little better. So, there's his bandolier on there. Now, if you want to change out the eyes, I'll say it's simple. It may not be simple. I did do it before. I promise. So there we go. So it pops off, and you can see it's got the same tabs on the inside. And I'm guessing this is where they stop at. I'm not sure. But then you can see he's got this circuitry ring around his face, and then you just take the other, and it snaps right on there, and it stops in place just like the other. So there is that. And then of course the swords do store in the sheaths, but I don't think I'm going to continue sticking them in there because of all this paint rubbing going on. That's a little bit disappointing, but I don't know what else they could have done to fix that. Maybe a clear coat on top of the swords, maybe. But they do store in here. This one will store in the bandolier, and this one stores in the strap, at least classically. If you wanted to change it up, I'm sure that you could. And then no storage for the extra eyes or for the fists. Well, that, my friends, does it for a look at Tri-Klops and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia Tri-Klops with the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia Trapjaw. And in the back, the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, Revelation Tri-Klops, Priest of Motherboard. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia Tri-Klops, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and our final Masterverse comparison, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia Tri-Klops, I have to say, I think the New Eternia subline just keeps getting better. And this figure is proof of that, at least to me. It's classic, and it's updated, and they even threw in the bandolier from the mini comics. At least that's where I remember that bandolier from. And 2 swords like the 2001 series, and he even has storage for both. Now, a minus for that storage is the fact that it does cause paint rub on the swords and the figure. Now, when I say that, the paint's not coming off the figure, it's coming off the swords onto the figure or the bandolier. And that's not a great thing. Now, I do love the paint apps on those swords. They look fantastic, but when they're rubbing off when you try to store them, it's not a good thing. It's like, I guess if I had known it was going to be that way, I would have sprayed a clear coat, a dull clear coat, maybe on the swords, just to kind of keep that from happening. But I didn't, and now I've got some paint rub, and it's probably not going to be super difficult to fix. The hardest part's going to be matching up those silver colors, and so I don't know, I may just leave it like it is, and he's going to hold his 2 swords. But any issues with this figure, that's it. I even like the fact that he comes with an extra eye ring, I guess you could call it, to swap out to give him a more, I guess, updated look. But this look with this ring that he's got on there with the bigger eyes, I find this much better looking, at least in my opinion. And this figure is just, it's great. And if you are a Masters of the Universe fan, you're a Tri-Klops fan, you know, I can understand if you're, you know, collecting classics and that's it. Because I'm not collecting classics. I kind of missed the boat on it a little bit. And I'm thinking hard about the cartoon versions, but I don't really want to get started on another line. So I think I'm just going to stick with the Masterverse line. I'm really enjoying it, especially the new Eternia subline. Now, the Revolution stuff is kind of hit and miss for me. The Revelation stuff was hit and miss for me. And so there it is. But this Tri-Klops is great. He's going to pair up great with my new Eternia Trap Jaw, because I don't know why, I always think of those guys as a team. So, you know, I always paired them up. But great figure, great subline, mostly a great line. The Masterverse line, period, is mostly great. You know, it's got a few issues here and there, and some of that is just because of what it's based on, but not with the new Eternia. I'm having no issues with that stuff, as far as major issues anyway, sculpt wise or deco wise, or even QC wise, except for Man-at-Arms mustache. That's a pretty major issue, because, you know, it's a mustache and it's Man-at-Arms, so Duncan needs his mustache, guys. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you. But only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.